Okay, now let us invite Bhante Kusula to give a brief Dhamma talk.
Dear Bhante Sanpal, dear Bhante Vimala Jyoti, and dear friends in Dhamma, today we are celebrating the first full moon day. I don't know how.
In Bengali we call Jyeshta Purnima.
Jyeshta Purnima. Thank you, Bhante, for that. With that, we opened the temple at Mississauga Temple. So we had a day retreat there. So we are a little fatigued after that because there was also a food giving event in the afternoon from 5 to 7-ish, and we were chatting with all those people who came. So we had a big turnout, about over 100 people showing up, and that's such a nice thing to see. So in the same way, also in Sri Lanka, on a day like this, they share food and they celebrate this day. And I'm sure in Bangladesh also there are celebrations on this special day. It is special for us in Sri Lanka because Buddhism was officially introduced to us on that full moon day by Arahant Mahinda, who was the son of King Emperor Ashoka. So later his sister Sanghamitra also joined in the mission, and together they teamed up and they did an amazing missionary service, establishing Buddhism so well that it still has an impact in Sri Lankan culture, Sri Lankan people, and the country is majority Buddhist even to date. And when Arahant Mahinda approached Sri Lanka, he used a number of discourses from the Buddha, and in one of the teachings he used Vimanavattu, stories of heaven, and Petavattu, stories from purgatory realms. And this is so significant that he wanted to arouse mindfulness among people as to what happens to people after their leaving behind the body, which means after death, people may be born in purgatory hell or in heavenly realms according to their karma. So this kind of sparked some awareness among those people at the time to commit themselves toward kusala karma, committing to wholesome actions. And you know the story of Todeyya. He was a millionaire at the time of the Buddha. He was so stingy. He never wanted to offer anything to monks or anything to anyone. His intention was to collect as much as possible. And after living so many years, he died, leaving behind all that wealth to his son Subha. And even to Subha, his father had advised before that you should only collect, you should never give. And so his son also never went to any recluses or Brahmins, never went to see the Buddha. But the Buddha saw the potential of Subha that one day he will realize the Dhamma. So the Buddha, after Subha's father's passing away, the Buddha decided to visit this home, this mansion. And the dog came running and barking toward the Buddha in an aggressive manner. And the Buddha addressed him as Todeyya. Apparently this was the man who died before, who has now become a dog in his life. So when the dog was called Todeyya by his former name, the dog felt ashamed. He ran into the kitchen and he buried himself in ashes, and no helper could pull him out the ashes. And Subha came back from wherever he happened to be, and he heard what had happened. So he asked the Buddha, did you call my dog by my father's name? And the Buddha said, yes, I did. It is truly your father. And Subha was surprised and angry by what the Buddha did. And he said, prove it. I want to know if this is really true, or you must be lying. And the Buddha asked, do you remember your father when he was alive telling you that he had buried so much of treasure in certain places, and did he reveal to you these places? Subha said, no, he never told me where those things are. And the Buddha said, well, you can come to know these things. Feed him some milk rice, and feed the dog some milk rice, and put him in a soft bed after bathing. And when he is about to sleep, talk to him by your just as you talk to your father, and say, beloved father, do you remember where you buried your wealth? Certain treasures that you never told me where you buried those. And the dog, wagging his tail, went to those places and started scratching the floor. And just by digging those places, Subha was able to find the buried treasure. So this was already enough for Subha to know that indeed this is my father who is now born as a dog. And he went back to the Buddha and said, this is what really happened. I have so much faith in you. Whatever you have told has now become true, and I don't want this to happen to me after my death. How can I avoid this? And at that point, the Buddha started giving gradual talk about giving, practicing generosity, how to cut off your miseriness, attachments, and how less important wealth is compared to how important your mind can be when you have cultivated your mind, and how important it is to keep sila, your virtues, your moral conduct, and how important it is to cultivate your wisdom through listening to Dhamma. So that way Subha learned to invite the monks and the Buddha to his mansion and started giving danas, and he became a devoted practitioner. And that way he opened himself to the path toward awakening. So this is a story that I believe maybe Arahant Mahinda also may have shared at the time, or though we don't really know what he shared in detail, but he indeed talked to people about how people are born in hell realms or heavenly realms according to their behavior and conduct within this lifetime. So I believe Poson is a time that we can reflect on such teachings and put ourselves back in the path and doing righteous things always, no matter who is watching, privately and publicly. That way you help yourself away from, avoid the purgatory hell realms and have a good birth in case you continue to be born again or reach nirvana sooner within this lifetime. So happy full moon day for you all. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.